Hi, this is Alus, a show where sometimes I take out multiple Gunpla and compare them. This time we are comparing the Core Gundam, Core Gundam 2, and Alus Core Gundam. Now, we sort of start off this Core Gundam Planetary System series with the very last release, the Plutine Gundam. While it was fun to examine the Core Gundam 2 Plus in there, the more I think about it, like during editing and, subsequent checks of the video, I feel like talking about the Core Gundam in these sets will get very old very quick, even if I space them out. Like, if you are someone who is looking at the Build Diver Re-Rise, the planetary system type of Gundams, and you click into my videos, multiple of them, thank you if you did, that you will see a lot of the same thing about the Core Gundam in them, and I don't think that's ideal, despite, they are part of the set. So what I think I should do, and I'm fortunate enough to have a set that include all three main variants of Core Gundam, that I should do a video where I compare them. Let's start by the basic Core Gundam and Core Gundam 2. Immediately you can see Core Gundam 2 have a much larger shield, but we will come back to them. Starting from the head, Core Gundam isn't so different from Core Gundam 2, or the other way around. There are some different color arrangement, but the biggest difference is the face mask, if you can see it. Core Gundam 1 have the traditional Gundam face mask, while Core Gundam 2 have a vaguely more Zeta-like face mask. Although the top camera is hexagonal, which is not to Zeta Gundam, but the general theme or the general construction of the head is more Zeta-ish. Next is the chest. You can see Core Gundam 2 have a lot more transparent part. It's mainly a visual thing, while Core Gundam just have regular color for its exhaust fins. The gem on the chest, however, is pretty much the same, being very much like the Gundam's antenna. Skirts, Core Gundam have a much larger central panel, which would work well with the full planetary armor, whereas Core Gundam 2 have a reduced size one, which do look better in Core Gundam mode. Down to the legs, the biggest difference between Core Gundam and Core Gundam 2 are in the thighs. Core Gundam 2 just have longer thighs. It would work better with the planetary armor, where you can get a deeper crouch pose with it, and it does make Core Gundam 2 look more like a full-size mobile suit, just smaller. But that also kind of defeats the purpose of Core Gundam, or the principal design of Core Gundam, being incomplete by itself. It is a design language of choice to show you that, Core Gundam is a functional mobile suit on its own, but ultimately it is only the core part. Lower leg or the shins, basically the same, or it is the same parts from the same frame. The ankle armor is also the same. The foot, while the foot itself is the same, the armor on top of the foot is different. Core Gundam 2 have a extrusion coming out like a toe. Again, makes Core Gundam 2 looks like a full mobile suit, but that's not the point. Onto the arms, shoulder pads. Core Gundam 2 is a lot more pronounced, with a bit of extension on the side, which I mean, it does look better to an extent, but again, being more of a full mobile suit instead of, stripped down from the armor. Bicep Core Gundam is completely traditional with very few features, while Core Gundam 2 is full of features. Thankfully, it is pretty good geometry. I like the design and it does match with the rest of Core Gundam 2's design language. Forearm and hands are completely the same. Same goes for the core spray gun. As for the shield, really Core Gundam's shield is a buckler. There's no way around it, even with its reduced size. Which I don't mind too much, really. We will talk about it when we get to the planetary armors, but I don't think this is too bad for, the base smaller Gundam. For Core Gundam 2, it is pretty much the entire identity of Core Gundam 2 that allow Core Gundam 2 to turn into Core Flyer. It works as a backpack, but the fuselage cockpit, it is a bit too long for MS mode, and really it works much better as a shield than a backpack. I mean, booster shield is quite common for Gundam. Having Core Gundam 2 basically serving on top of it makes more sense than, using it as a backpack. Not to mention, Core Gundam 2 also keep the Core Gundam backpack with a large thruster in the middle, which also works with, all the planetary armor on top. So this ought to be a rather powerful thruster. It's rather ought to use a, shield to cover it up. The beam saber hilts are also different. Core Gundam just have traditional, basically a bar with a minimum guard so that the hand wouldn't slip, and yeah, that's it. While Core Gundam 2 have this stylish, almost like a knife by itself type of beam saber hilt. While we're here, the back of the head of Core Gundam 2 does remind me a bit more of Zeta Gundam, with Core Gundam basically, RX-78. Torso, actually not too different. When you just look at it, you just, sure, there are some extension coming down, but it's generally the same shape. But Core Gundam have no app join. It's too big into it, so it's a solid secure lock, but you can still pull it out relatively easily. Whereas Core Gundam 2 does have a app crunch, but it is also an app crunch that will work itself out if you look at my shots for Pluton Gundam. So yeah, overall, Core Gundam 2 is more of a complete mobile suit on its own, while Core Gundam is clearly just part of a full mobile suit. To be honest, I like Core Gundam's direction better. The shield is really oversized for the Core Flyer mode. It works and doesn't really work with the planetary armor, as we will look at them in the future. But I guess at least on their own, Core Gundam 2 is a much more complete package compared to Core Gundam. But I think Core Gundam really hit it on nail about it being a part of a bigger mobile suit, as well as it being suitable for doing that. Not that Core Gundam 2 isn't suitable, but as you have seen in the Pluton Gundam video, the app joint does not bow well with all the extra armor bits. Now let's compare Core Gundam to Alus Core Gundam. Much like Core Gundam 2, Alus Core Gundam is more of a full size mobile suit by itself. Admittedly, still small compared to regular mobile suits. Starting with the head, yeah, Alus Core Gundam does not have a Gundam head. It is pretty much an alien, quite literally, robot helmet. But you can still see why it have some of the designs, like the kind of mustache or eyelashes on the side. They are vaguely like the Gundam V antenna. On the chest, very different in style, but basically the same segments. Chest, upper and lower abdomen, and a germ in the middle. Um, while it does not have the V like Core Gundam, the designs on the side kind of looks like them. And if you take a look at it, you will notice the collar is the same. Skirts surprisingly similar in size and design. While Alus Gundam's thigh looks longer, it is because it comes up higher, which does make it look better as a full mobile suit and does not, change the ratio of the rest of the mobile suit. Now, you can say, yeah, the longer thigh on Core Gundam 2 is actually better, but at least in this mode, out of the planetary armor, this looks better. Of course, the perfect solution would be having the armor coming up like Alus Gundam and Core Gundam 2 being extended. The legs, the shins are the same sprue actually. And then the ankle armor have a different design, and the foot are completely alien except when you tilt it, you can see the influence from Gundam. Obviously, it's still very much, a bird, raptor-like feet, which surprisingly some Gundam do adopt over the years, so, that works. Onto the arms, Alus Gundam's shoulder is very much just like Core Gundam with a bit more flair, which I do like better. The bicep, again, with Alus Gundam's sort of angle triangulate design throughout the whole thing. Very nice touches. And then the forearm, Alus Gundam have much longer forearm to add it to its alienness. And even in Core Gundam form, it have its own gauntlet armor, which is different. But underneath that is a standard Core Gundam forearm with exactly the same length. So you can put on other planetary armor on Alus Gundam, Alus Core Gundam, or the same. Backpack is basically the same, except instead of beam sabers, Alus Gundam just have wings. Simple one piece, but they work. The Alus Gundam just generate beam saber from its hand. Normally, you attach this hand to the Alus Gundam forearm, but you can attach it to, the inter forearm as well. The beautiful part about this beam saber hand is it is actually ambidextrous, sort of. The thumb is right in the middle of it, so it wouldn't look odd even if you put it on the right hand side. And now you can see how, Alus Gundam is very much the same as the regular Core Gundam. Now, someone more of his own size. I do have a feeling that they designed Core Gundam 2 to be, taller and generally more menacing to match with Alus Core Gundam, which I think kind of defeat the purpose because Alus is an alien. He doesn't understand, human concepts quite as well, even though he's very smart. But, there are things that Core Gundam 2 did right. Like I said, the longer file definitely improves the lower body's play when you get to the full planetary armor form. So ideally, you will have a Alus Gundam. You will have, I like Alus Gundam. Have the fire armor going all the way up to the fine joint. It is actually longer, so that in the non-core Gundam mode, the full planetary armor mode, you still get a lot of lower body action. Same goes for the shoulder armor. I think Alus simple, slightly more flare look works better than Core Gundam 2's much more extended look. Like, this does not matter when you have the planetary shoulder armor on. And, sure, again, Core Gundam 2 looks more like a complete Gundam, but, that's not the point. That's the problem with, that's what makes Alus Core Gundam more alien. Like, Core Gundam 2 just looks, somewhat alien in all of this. Alus Gundam do have app crunch like Core Gundam 2, but not too much. Probably, to safeguard in the trial and tribulation with the planetary armor system. And then flip around to the back. I would say the two look surprisingly similar. Let's flip Alus' wings up. Like, I don't think Hiroto literally copied Alus Core Gundam for Core Gundam 2. But, yeah, there is a lot of mirroring of Core Gundam 2 to Alus Core Gundam. Switching them around because of the shield. If you look at the waist armor, Alus Gundam is somewhere between Core Gundam to Core Gundam 2. And I think Alus Gundam got the idea right, at least for the middle part. The side armor, I think Core Gundam 2 or Core Gundam Simple Block works better, especially when you don't have the planetary armor skirt hanging down. So yeah, but Alus Gundam is not without its own oversized gear. Like, seriously, I think Hiroto is compensating when he pull out the Core Gundam 2. This is Alus Gundam's beam rifle. It's never explicitly say if this is just Alus Core Gundam's rifle or Alus Earth 3 Gundam's rifle. Because like how Alus Core Gundam can generate beam saber, it can just shoot beam shots out of its forearms. So presumably his beam rifle will just be this extra thing used for long range shooting. And you see a lot of big extra bits on the side, and on the other side actually have quite a bit of scopes. And if you can see underneath from the reflection, they do have a simple scoped reinforced rib that's basically mimicking like acceleration railings that you can kind of see through the reflection. Maybe, maybe not. Either way, very good sculpt out of simple parts like top parts, lower parts, and then one on the side that have a secondary position from a simple peg that Alus can plug his arm inside, which still have scopes inside, which Alus just plug its other forearm into, to charge up the beam rifle for a more powerful shot. And all of this, if you can recognize, is over the top of a core spray gun. Obviously with a bigger receiver at the end too. But yeah, here you can see the core spray gun is inside of the Alus beam rifle pretty tightly, so I can't pull that out. But yeah, the receiver kind of come off when I try to pull it out, but that's okay. Just in general, very good design for Alus core Gundam. But yeah, clearly Hiroto is trying to compensating for something when he brought out core Gundam 2. Actually, doing this comparison makes me want to do a little bit of mix and match, which I'm not sure, but we'll see. Anyways, but yeah, that's not it for Alus Gundam. And yeah, they also have flat hands for Alus core Gundam, and you can see the fingers are a lot longer than core Gundam 2's. This definitely gave Alus core Gundam a lot more of an alien look, aside from the claw feet and the head and the wings. I think they still look better down at the back. And unlike core Gundam or core Gundam 2, Alus core Gundam's head does not have slots for the different antennas for the different planetary armors, which Alus core Gundam compensate with a separate head. Now, I'm usually not a fan of sticker fests like these, but for the next video, I decided to keep the stickers, sort of. But it turns sort of okay, at least for now. I will definitely use this head for the future because I would definitely be looking at some planetary armor using the Alus core Gundam here. But yeah, this is the alternative head for Alus core Gundam for different planetary armors. And yeah, core Gundam and core Gundam 2 have the same different length beam saber blades or flat type, which Alus copied with his own different beam saber. And all of these guys have the same joints and basically the same structure, just different armor pieces. So before the video ends, I will use core Gundam here to going through those articulations once more. Head is on the Forever Gundam neck joint, steel polycap in this case. So you got a ball for the head to look up, and then another ball to sort of wiggle around, but because of the tight collar of core Gundam, it's basically just a swivel. Still works well enough that core Gundam can look quite high up. Core Gundam is the only one that does not have a waist movement, but I think it's good because the waist is rock solid. It's not coming off. And then the actual waist joint is on a ball. You can play around to get some crunch, but it's mainly for swivel on the side. The legs, thigh joint is the revival double pin setup. The shape of the thigh pretty much limited it to 60 degrees, which isn't too bad, to be honest. Combining with, the swivel on the thigh. And the fact that it can go all the way back allow core Gundam 2 to have a somewhat convincing MA mode. And then the knee is a single joint for the core Gundam, but since you got another joint, and then you got another joint on the thigh, which will function as the second knee joint for the full planetary armor mode. Foot is on a pin from the ankle that is on a ball joint, although it's mostly function like a swivel again. You can play around with it for more movement, but really it's meant to be tight inside. And then the joint actually have quite a lot of freedom of movement. So despite only having a single knee, core Gundam is quite expressive on his lower body. The arms, double joint, only really limited by the armor themselves. More so when you have the planetary armor going on top of each other, blocking. But otherwise, a lot of movement, and then hand is on the ball joint. Backpack, the beam saber holster can go up and down. Core Gundam 2 kinda use it for its MMO, but it's good either way. Pointing up like Gundam traditionally do, or pointing down like the Match Lord, pulling it out from the back, backhanded. That is cool too. So yeah, really, I like all three in different ways. I may or may not do some mix and match later down the road, but that would be way after every other plans I have for these guys and my collection. And hopefully this video would help you to pick out which of the core Gundam you want to go for to start off, or pick the one that you are likely to get. For now, I think I have a pick, but we will see when we get to that box set. As for now, I think the cheapest way to get into the whole core Gundam system is to get the 2 color variation of core Gundam 2 on their own. Core Gundam isn't so separately, not quite so separately. We will look at that when we look at this box set. Yeah, this is one box set. And this is just a comparison, an illustration of how Hiroto is definitely compensating when he is bringing out Core Gundam 2 after he was defeated by Alus Gundam somewhat. Thanks for watching. See you next time.